everybody that has supported my channel throughout my years on YouTube. And the first thing that I want to discuss, the first order of business as I go through this journey and through this discussion. First question that I want to let everybody know, I want to ask you that's listening, are you in the right position? Are you at the right place at the right time? Are you taking care of the basics of your life? Now, when I talk about this, I'm discussing it from a financial standpoint, from to answer that question. Some can, some can't. But let's kind of go, that could pose a problem. And let's say you do have a diagnosis. Let's just say you do have some issues. Are you stable? Are you at a baseline level? Are you at a functional level? Because just because you have a mental illness or any type of mental health issue doesn't mean you can't date. Are you taking your medication? Have you had recent hospitalizations? Have you brought toxicity in past relationships and you've healed from it and you don't allow it to spill over into the next relationship? Are you working? Can you even afford to date, particularly to my brothers? If you can't take a woman out on an $80 to $100 date, that's basic. Now I know there are people who are gonna feed you this faulty information about taking somebody on a cheap date, going out for ice cream, going out for Starbucks. But dinner date. This is part of just American culture. Taking someone out on a date is very basic. So if you can't afford to take somebody out on a $100 date, I'm sorry. Even though there are women that may not require that, okay? Give or take. What city you in? $100 date. You have a job, or you stable? Do you have daycare taken care of? Are there a situation where you're struggling to get everything situated just to make the date? Dating just for a meal, not necessarily for the person? Let's ask ourselves financially, do we have stable incomes, or are you dating to find someone to provide you income? Both ways. Because if you get into a serious relationship, you get into a marriage, you get into a long-term situation, cohabitation, finances among both people are going to collide at some point. If you're not ready financially at the beginning, you're probably not going to be ready towards the middle and the end of the progression of the relationship as it moves further. Are you living at home with your parents? You mean to tell me if you choose to want to take someone to your place, or they want to come to your place, you have to say no because you don't have a place? Or as a lady, you can't offer someone to come if you want to take it there because you don't have your own place? Yes, I know there's plenty of people. Yes, I know. Y'all go to these hotels, you go to these nice hotels or these little cheap hourly motels or whatever you like to do what you like to do. Hey, D. Darrell ain't the one to judge. Nothing is like showing someone your own place. That's one of the most player things that you can do. Show them what you're doing. Show them what you're working with. Show them what you have. Apartment. If you don't have your own place, you complicate things. I get that from both sides. But sooner or later, let's be real, because I look at things from the long term, not the short term. If you're trying to date long term, eventually that person is going to want to come to your place, or they're going to want you to come to their place. But if you're living raggedy, and you're in situations, and you're between jobs, and then guys, you basically dating to go 50-50 on the date. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna let you answer that question for yourself. Let's look at it from a communication standpoint. Are you willing to go on a date? If you're ready to date, are you willing to listen to what the other person has to say? Or are you trying to monopolize the conversation talking about self? Who wants to listen to somebody talk about themselves without them interjecting back and forth? Communication is about two people seamlessly discussing things about themselves or somebody else or issues. To date someone, to go out to events and do different things. And I'm not saying spend a bunch of money for designer this and designer that. But what I'm saying, do you even have that? Or are you expecting a date for somebody else to take care of that for you? Please help me understand. Are you ready to date? Can you go out and just do things? Can you plan things? Do you even have a cell phone? A decent phone that ain't cracked or anything so you can talk and text and discuss things. Have conversations. Whether by text or talking over the phone. And yes, I know you can email, you can do all these different things on Instagram and so on. DM and so forth. And messaging. Can you even do that? Ability to be civil. To personify that in motion with one another, no matter what environment you're in. Are you ready to date? Some say yes, some say no, some are in between. Anything less than a yes to me is no. It should not be a question. It's either you are or you are not. Plain and simple. There is no in between. Do you have any underlying issues that you don't want to talk about that is bothering you? You can't even concentrate on the date because you're stressed out at work. Nothing worse than a person stressed out going on a date and then talking about all of that negatives on the date. Listening to it stresses the other person out. And yes, people pretend to act like they care, particularly men, because they're trying to impress. You see, when you are already at a high level, you don't have to go out your way and impress. All you have to do is be you, and she can interpret the rest. But are you ready to date? Do you have your own vehicle? Do you have decent transportation? Yes, I know in 2022 you can Lyft. Yes, I know you can get the Uber. But what about if you and that other person want to go out and just ride and talk, chill and talk? It's nothing like having your own, because women are looking at what you bring to the table. What resources do you have that you possess for yourself? But are you ready to date? And the car situation goes for a female too. If you're dating, I'm looking long term. I'm not looking just at the short and immediate. I'm looking at the long term. Now, some of these things you may not have at some point, you may have later. But to put yourself in the best place, the best position, is to have all check boxes taken care of. So when you present yourself, you're presenting the best of you. I have my shit together. You will know I have my shit together. See, you can look at me, and those that know me know that Coach D got his shit together. I have my shit together. There are people that are listening who have their shit together. And then you have those that don't. If you're living raggedy, you're living raggedy. But hold on. That don't mean you have to continue to live raggedy. What can we do to change that? What can we do to change that? Are you ready to date? For those that are not ready, just be honest with yourself. You ain't gotta lie to me. You ain't gotta lie to yourself, because you know where you're at. And let's just face it, everybody is not on the same level. Everybody is not on the same level. Let's say you in school. If you know you're in school and you're working at the same time, or both, or either or, and you don't have time to date, accept that. Let's say you're at a job where you are working overtime 10, 15, 20 hours a week because you're working towards some things. This may not be the time for you to date. Your job is consuming things. Wait till things slow down. Wait till things get to a point where they need to be. If you lie a lot, if you're disingenuous, if you're a selfish person, you cannot be a selfish person in a relationship. If you have certain things that are not conducive to dating someone consistently or being in a relationship, whatever pace you choose to take it, because some go at different speeds than others. Yes, that does exist. Some go a lot faster than others. Some like to go slow. Identify your pace. Some are just a sucker for love. You may need to reevaluate that. And hey, I'm not going to tell you can't control when you fall in love with someone, but you can, if something ain't right, are you going to just allow it to happen? Or will you just be straight up about it? Come with the basics. You don't have to work with the basics. The basics, you can flow with the basics and grow. And for men, if she does not possess the things that you are looking for, from far as her intelligence, her ability to do certain things that you're looking for out of a woman, I'm not telling anybody to settle. But what I am going to say, you have to be realistic. You have to be realistic on what you want. Because you're not going to get everything that you want from anybody. And if you get most of what you want from anyone, it grows into that. Nobody just shows up and bam, I'm perfect, I got everything that you need, and let's go from there. Some of those things are gradual through time, through getting to know one another and working collectively to achieve that. But are you ready to date?